Yes, I'm eating candy and soda for breakfast, but it's not a desperate cry for help. It's called the sugar diet, and people are getting shredded on it, supposedly. So for the next 72 hours, I'll be eating nothing but sugar, and we'll find out what this does to my weight, my body, my blood sugar, and the thin line between a video idea and a terrible life decision. Yeah, this is either going to be the dumbest thing I've done all year or the weirdest thing that actually works. There's a handful of people pushing the sugar diet, but I'll be following Cole Robinson's advice.
Hey, fatty! You start the sugar diet with a sugar fast! Knock the protein and the fat right out!
All you have to do is eat as much sugar and simple carbs as you want, minimize protein, replace your carb phobia with fat phobia, and don't ask too many questions. Yes, we've come back full circle to the 1980s, where the government and big food industries told us that eating fat makes you fat. But like my mom always says, if all your friends jumped off a bridge, film it, post it, and call it a metabolic reset. I figured I should at least look like I'm trying, so I'll be saving the candy and soda for day 3. So for breakfast, I have 3 bananas, 4 tablespoons of honey, and 16 ounces of green sludge. Whew. I may have gone overboard with the honey. Before I started eating like a hummingbird, I attached a continuous glucose monitor to my arm so we can see what this diet does to my blood sugar in real time. Basically, if this thing's a metabolic dumpster fire, I'd like some proof. I also recorded my starting weight, and I took circumference measurements. But you'll need to shield your eyes in 3, 2, 1. All right. Breakfast is done. Let's go get to work. Surprisingly, it was impossible for me to focus after eating as much sugar as 4 packs of Skittles. So we are now 2.5 hours after our first meal with all that sugar. Guys, my blood sugar spiked up. My meter wasn't even reading it for like a solid hour and 15 minutes. I was pretty certain I gave myself diabetes in one shot. But now I'm at the gym and my blood sugar is now 81. What I'm most worried about is after that massive spike, my blood sugar just continues to decrease. And if it's just going to completely crash and I'm going to collapse in the gym and they'll have to mop me up. My blood sugar somehow stayed pretty level. I had plenty of energy, but I did start to feel kind of sick towards the end of the workout. I started to feel a little shaky and kind of nauseated. Of course, that could be because it's leg day, or it could be because I've eaten nothing but sugar today. I'm gonna eat this banana, but I'm not gonna show you me eating this banana because that might look a little weird.
I feel really good now. Maybe that's the key to living a good life. Just get all hopped up and hyped up on sugar all day long. And I can be a moron all the time.
At this very moment, I'm still not sure I buy into the recent hype behind high-carb, low-fat eating.
But the sugar fasting is guaranteed. This is the best weight loss protocol known to man. The most flexible.
When you cut out all food that isn't pure sugar, feels pretty inflexible to me. But day 1 was a lot like the sardine fast I did earlier this year. I wasn't overly hungry, I just craved foods other than the few that I was allowed to eat.
You're the worst.
It is 8:25 on day 1. This is what my blood sugar has done all day long. Big spikes and big dips. And I know, like, when I was researching this and watching other videos, that one of the reasons this is such a great diet to do is because it's not restrictive. You can eat as much as you want.
You're hungry, eat more!
But we had to meet some friends for dinner tonight, and if you go out to eat while doing this, fair warning, there's not much you can eat. I had to go with something called the festive salad, minus everything that makes a salad festive. So yeah, it was just spinach and lettuce with berries on it. So yeah, it's not restrictive in that you can't eat sugar, but you can't eat any fat. So the argument that it's not restricting, it's definitely restricting. but maybe I'll get used to this way of eating on day 2. Nobody could have seen it coming, but I slept like complete garbage. All right, so I do want to test why my blood sugar spiked over 200 yesterday. I want to know if it's the juice or if it was the bananas and the honey, so this is my breakfast for now. So this is what weight loss looks like, or possibly rock bottom. Next, I ate 4 tablespoons of honey like a good little Pooh Bear. It turns out it was probably the juice that got me. I'm thinking it's no different than soda, but we'll find out for sure on day 3. 3 hours later, I had a hearty lunch of pineapple, bananas, and more honey. So yesterday I ate a total of 1,820 calories. This meal right here has just 500 calories.
You don't gotta count the calories or shit, because the calorie burn is so high, you're gonna waste away to nothing.
I don't typically track calories, except when I'm doing tests like this. We might just be magically creating a calorie deficit by eliminating all fats and proteins. But we're gonna get to the bottom of this by the end of it. I promise you that. So much honey. But I am finding it incredibly hard to overeat these foods. And that's even with working out. Yeah, I'm really not enjoying this challenge. If this was a roller coaster, I'd have thrown up by now. I might actually throw up. I didn't throw up. I got home, slammed some more juice, and went for a walk. I've got all this energy, but it's like not a good energy. Like I just feel stressed out and unfocused. Like I took too much pre-workout. And now I don't want anyone to know that I took it. And then for dinner, it's more smoothie and a banana with sugar on it. I think I've eaten like a dozen bananas this week. With everything I ate today, I only had about 1,600 calories for day 2. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of comments that say, it's not about the calories. There's a hormone called FGF21 that ramps up when you eat sugar in the absence of fat and protein. And this hormone increases your metabolism, so you get shredded. The more sugar you eat, the greater FGF21 response you get, supposedly. So tomorrow, we gotta push the limits. Oh, and Christy, Grant, and everyone else curious about the sugar diet, legal says I have to mention this. I'm gonna be eating a lot of sugar today. A lot of people say the sugar diet has nothing to do with calorie restriction, and you can eat as much as you want.
You'll never out-eat your sugar.
Yeah, we're gonna test that out today. And you might think that I'm just being ridiculous right now. I'm not. I'm following the sugar diet.
Pop! And some Coke bottles. Let's get rid.
Oh, man.
Okay, I'm not trying to make this into some sort of a farce where you're just eating a pile of candy all day. Okay, but you can't. You can't.
So my goal today is to eat all throughout the day and do my best to ensure that I'm not in a calorie deficit like I was for the first 2 days. But I already know this is gonna be hard because what I'm really hungry for is anything other than sugar. So I ate candy in the car. I drank juice in a park. I ate bananas from afar. I drank soda and ran out of rhymes. And I'm learning, yes, it is really hard to out-eat the sugar diet. But I don't think it's because I'm burning tons of calories. It's because eliminating all foods other than sugars really sucks. That's how most restrictive diets work. They eliminate so many foods that you end up burning out on the few you're allowed to have. I drank a lot of juice, because that was the easiest to get down. I ate half a melon, because that seemed like a good idea.
Hey, fatty!
I found out that soda causes less of a sugar spike than juice. And I discovered that eating candy destroys my stomach.
This is the worst.
So I'm trying to keep an open mind, but even if you're triggering a hormonal response with an all-sugar diet, I'm questioning if it's actually worth it. Mainly because I spent the entirety of my evening in the bathroom.
Stop pooping.
Yeah, we're just gonna cut to the end of day 3 now. I've made it to the end of day 3. I ate a total of 2,900 calories, 600 grams of sugar. And y'all, I feel great. Lee off. Yeah, if I lose weight now, I'm not gonna be sure it's not because my digestive system is completely cleaned out. I feel like I'm prepping for a colonoscopy. And y'all, what my blood sugar did today was insane. I guess this could be good for increasing insulin sensitivity because it's constantly being spiked. But if you have insulin resistance or diabetes, I honestly don't know how this wouldn't make it so much worse. But I'm excited to wake up tomorrow and find out my results from 3 days of sugar fasting. Assuming I don't slip into a diabetic coma tonight. All right, peeps, grab your sunglasses. Here's my before and after. Ooh, wow, look how shredded you got.
Shredded.
My eyes? Yeah, I went from 32.5 inches to 32.5 inches. But my weight, I went from 149.2 pounds on day 1 all the way down to 150.1 pounds. Well, that's anticlimactic. I guess I'm just one of those idiots that's gonna stick with water fasting.
Some of you idiots still think 0-calorie fasting on no food at all is more muscle sparing than eating sugar for days on end. Are you stupid?